Hi guys, welcome to Martin's Movie Review, and as always, my name is GK, here to give you the very best of Nollywood movie reviews. Today we are reviewing The Trade. The Trade is a Nollywood movie that was released on 13th January 2023, and it was directed by Jadesola Osiberu. It runs at about 1 hour 50 minutes, and it was shot in Nigeria precisely. The company that produced this movie is Foresight Global Films. The lead characters in this particular movie include Blossom Chukwujeku, who acted the Aries character, Alino, who acted the Bukar character, Richard Dominic, who acted Doris, and a bunch of other actors that acted in this movie. The Trade is a movie that tried to depict a true life event that tells the story of a notorious kidnapper who has terrorized the southern part of Nigeria, but in all, one crime, one activity led to the capture of this notorious criminal. Stick to the end of this movie and I'll tell you who that notorious criminal is, and I mean in real life, the story the movie was trying to depict, right? And maybe why the movie took over 4 years before it was released. It was shot in 2018 and released in 2022. Why the 4 years? Maybe I'll give you a hint of why this activity happened. Stick to the end of this video. And if you're new to my channel, guys, subscribe to this channel, as I will be unveiling a lot of things regarding movies in Nigeria and in Nigerian cinemas, and I'll be giving you back to back of the activities of the movies, right? Moving on, let's look at the performance of actors in this particular movie. There were good performances from all actors. Blossom Chukwujeku, taking the lead character of Eric, was good, and his performance was, well, I can say, considering the movie was shot in 2018 and released in 2023, his performance was great. Blossom brought in the same tongue, the same performance, I can say, like what he did in the setup too. I can say Blossom really did a great job in this particular movie. His character's kidnap history and notorious behavior was really played by Blossom, and I can say it was really great from Blossom's as Eric's. Alino's performance in Bukar was really great. Bringing in Alino really confirmed to me that it's the story of the person I'm going to unveil to you at the end of this movie. So stick around to know who actually was involved in this kidnap and the story this particular movie was depicting. Richard Dominic was great in the Doris character, I can say. Even though I couldn't see much of Richard Dominic in this particular movie, I can say that she acted like a guest actress, I can say, but then she really put in her best, and she was good in the kidnap character and in the kidnap victim. She was good in this particular character. All other actors, from Stan Inze to Charles Inoji to others that acted in this particular movie, they were good. I can say they were good as in Nigerian acting. They were good. Let's look at the action scenes in this particular movie. There were a few action scenes that really made sense, but others didn't. Action scenes were good, I can say, especially the car tumbling and the kidnap scenes. These two scenes, they were good, I can say. But the scene where Blossom was punching a guy after the club, it wasn't just believable, because camera stayed much on Blossom's face, so we couldn't see whether it was real punch or fake punches. At the end of the day, they brought back the camera on the guy's face and we just saw blood, makeup already done. I don't think it was a good way to portray the fight that is supposed to happen, right? So to me, it's not actually that good. And again, another scene was the sex scene in Blossom's car. I mean, that scene wasn't just believable. I mean, if you watch it, it wasn't just believable. Not that I want to see some things, but then they should have shot the removal of some things, and maybe it could be believable, not that something really is going on. I mean, if you see the movie, you know what I'm talking about, right? Moving on, let's look at the cinematography of this particular movie, The Trade. The cinematography perspective, the visual language, camera movement of The Trade was basically on still shot. The pan zoom and the tilt zoom in the movie was, I think, from the drone operator. However, all other shots from the dialogue shots were all still shots. They were good though, but then it didn't just bring out that extra vibes of camera movement, which we would have loved to see in action movies, right? It didn't just give me, to my own understanding, to my own taste, and it didn't just give me that particular look I was looking out for. But then it was just still short, and I can say it was partially good. A few movement was recorded, a few camera movement was recorded though in some scenes, like the scene where Eric's boys called to inform Eric about the escape of the the kidnapped victim, there was a little shift. I mean, a little camera movement there. However, there were not much recorded, so I think they needed to give us more of camera movement here, so long as it was partially an action movie. It's not a fully action movie, but partially they tried to put in an action movie. Even though the movie's first intention, based on what I read, the movie's first intention was to bring in an action movie, but looking at the story itself, they tried to limit it to just a drama, something that would give people an understanding of what actually happens around the environment and a true depiction of the live event, right? So even in this, there's supposed to be some movement of camera to show us how activities are, and we feel that cinematic movement, right? I think that makeup was good. One thing I love about this movie is makeup. In everything I could talk about in this particular movie, the makeup was perfect, I can say. From Doris' cut on the leg when she was trying to escape, to Stan Inze's face when they were cut, to all other makeups that were done in this particular movie, I can say this trade really brought in a makeup artist that gave them the best of the best, I can say. Moving on, let's look at editing and effect. The film was well edited, and the VFX team too, even though there was nothing special about it, but for a film that was shot in 2018 and released in 2023, I think it's actually good. However, for the fact that it had almost 4 years for post-production, I think they should have done better, right? They should have done better in this particular movie, in the post-production, in the editing, and every other thing. They should have done better. Also, the movie was rushed, if I may say. The film has a lot of left out that would have helped boost the credibility. From my own perspective of this film, it needed to have beyond 1 hour 50 minutes of run hours. This is to give space for some character development and for us to understand more of the movie, or perhaps breaking it into a mini series would have been something good to help understand some scenes that I think should have connected other scenes for proper understanding. Guys, as promised, I was gonna give you the real story behind this particular movie, and here we are at that point where I unveil the wrap, right? The movie tells the story of Evans, who was arrested in 2017 and pronounced guilty in 2022, even though it was not clearly stated in the movie or in any part of the movie. However, its story matches everything about Evans. All characters selected match the people involved in the process of the investigation and the arrest of the kidnapper. Also, the travel to Ghana and the family with children in Ghana, all were similar, all were same with the story of Evans and his family being in Ghana, right? Just like I said earlier, to tell you what I think about why the movie spanned for over 4 years without being released, I think that it was because of the case that was still in court. Case went into court in February 2017, and he was pronounced guilty in February 2022. Looking at this, I think the waiting period for 4 years for this particular movie before it was released, that's from 2018 to 2023, has something to do with this the case being in court. I don't know. The case being in court was Foresight Global Films waiting for Evans' sentence before they release this movie. That possibly me what I'm thinking. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. But seriously, Evans' resemblance with Blossom Chukwu is actually there. If you see the picture of Evans, see the picture of Blossom Chukwu, you would know that this is a perfect depiction of a cast, a good cast, and that is why I think it's the story of Evans that was portrayed in this particular movie. That's it. I've given you what I promised, right? In conclusion, The Trade is a movie that tells the story of a real life event that has happened, which I told you earlier is the story of Evans, even though it was not expressly shown around the movie or in the movie. But then, all storyline, the characters, everything pointed to that direction. Thank you guys for being with me to this particular end, and as always, my name is GK. If you like what I'm doing, please click the like button, and if you like this movie review channel, please consider subscribing, as I'll be giving you blockbuster reviews of blockbuster movies from cinemas, newly released from cinemas. Guys, thank you very much. See you in my next movie review. Salute.